Hey there, Vinny from Project Frugal. A couple of weeks ago, I came across a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. It was a family of six, two adults, four kids, earning $1,833 a week, and after their expenses, all they had was $21 left over. We're going to do a deep dive, see how we can save them some money. Check it out. And here's the post from December the 14th on X. This is really sad. This is a family of six, mum, dad, and four kids in rural NZ trying to survive off dad's income. They're left with $21. Christmas must be incredibly stressful. What we'll do is we'll put these figures into Excel and we'll see how we can break them down and see how we can save them some money. Okay, we've got an Excel spreadsheet open. We're going to transpose these figures onto this particular spreadsheet one by one. We'll see how it goes. Cool. So we've written down the numbers, we've put the numbers down here. On column D or row D is our final budget, what we're going to come up with, see how we can save them some money. We'll just make a few notes here. We've got a few notes to add. Family of six, two parents, four kids, two cars. What we've learnt, they pay rent. What else do we know about them? They have an old loan. Have a gym membership. That's pretty much it. And they certainly spend a lot. They've got nothing left. They've got $21 left. Well, according to this, if you add the numbers up, they've actually got $20 left, so it's even worse than that. You can't do a lot with $20 after all your expenses. You could save that for a year. How much are you going to have? Just over $1,000, $1,040. You're not going to be buying a house or going away or doing anything exciting. You could save that money for 50 years and be in the same boat and have $50,000. Your life's not going to improve. There has to be some changes in this budget. Now, it's pretty obvious that there's a few things that we need to look at. We've got the main salary, that's fine. Can they get a second job to increase their income? Can the main salary provider, I'm presuming it's the man, the husband, can he make some more income, maybe with some overtime? Can he get a side hustle? Can he get a second job? Let's say they can. Let's say they can add another $100 a week from whatever sources, working part-time. Maybe the wife or the girlfriend or whatever she is, maybe she gets a part-time job doing something from home to generate a little bit of income. Let's say they do that. So let's call it second job, and let's just say it adds up to another $100 a week. Not much, but something, that's for sure. The next one we're going to look at is the rent. Now, they're paying $570, presumably this is a week, based on what we've read so far. Can they trim that down by perhaps moving somewhere else, maybe getting a cheaper property? I don't know exactly where they live in New Zealand. It doesn't say. It just says rural New Zealand somewhere. Rural New Zealand, we're going to say trim another $20 a week off that by getting a cheaper property. Not saying they necessarily have to do this, but that's what I'm saying they should. The next category we're going to look at is power. Well, it says here $100 a week, $400 a month. That's probably about right in today's market. Can they go to the competition, see what other providers may be able to offer some maybe cheaper rates on what they're paying now? I believe so. I've done it before. I ended up saving about $700 a year just by putting in probably about 80 or 90 minutes of work, looking at the different options, the competition, to see how much money we could save. It was worth spending an hour and a half to do that, to save hundreds of dollars, definitely worth it. So there's a saving right there. We're going to assume that they can potentially save $10 by shopping around just to get a different power supplier. The next category we're moving on to is the food category. They're spending $600 a week for a family of six. That is extravagant. That's $100 per person per week. Our budget for 4 people is $200 a week. Sometimes we go over that, sometimes we go under that. There's no reason by smart shopping that they couldn't reduce their food budget a lot more than this. It doesn't say the age of the kids. There could be babies, which could raise the price, but we're going to assume, leave a little bit of fat in there, that they should be able to reduce this significantly. They should be able to reduce this to at least $300, maybe $350. We'll be generous and we'll give them $350 a week. There's no reason why they couldn't possibly grow some of their own food. It doesn't say exactly where they live, but they are in rural New Zealand, so we assume that they could have a garden, or they should have a garden, and they've probably got a decent sized section, generally speaking. We'll go with $350 a week, straight off the bat. The next category we're looking at is car and insurance. It's not broken down into what exactly the car covers, if that's maintenance, if that's some sort of hire purchase, paying off the car. I'm assuming it is, and yeah, the insurance is linked into that figure as well. What I would be doing, I'm assuming that, just off the top of my head, that they've got some sort of $15,000 to $20,000 car. That's what I'm guessing, that they're paying it off potentially over X number of years. It doesn't really say it here. What I would be doing if I was them, I would be selling that car, converting the money into cash, buying some sort of cheap runaround car. Should be able to get one for maybe $3,000 up to $5,000 for a pretty decent car. If it blows up, so be it. Just buy another one. Just by doing that, insurance, we pay $128 a year for third-party insurance. Don't worry about it if you've got a cheap car. It's not worth getting full cover insurance for. You just go and buy another one. They're cheap as chips. Break that number down, and in fact, we're going to say that the insurance cost for this over 52 weeks, let's say it's $3 a week. We're not covering maintenance in this. We're not going to be looking at that. Well, let's just chuck maybe $10, $7 a week for maintenance, just for something. We'll call it $10 a week. Moving on to the gas, because they've got such a high bill there, $200 a week, you'd be assuming they'd be using a lot of petrol or diesel or whatever they're using. So we're going to leave that untouched as it is. We've got an old loan here. Eventually that old loan will be paid off. With the money that we're able to save from this particular budget, that money should be going straight onto the old loan to get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take to get rid of that old loan, but that should be paid off relatively quickly with the extra money that we've found through savings. The next category is the gym category. It's $10 a week. Why spend $10 a week going to the gym when essentially all you could do is go for a walk, go for a run, grab some weights, do some workouts at home? The cost? Nothing. The travel costs? Nothing. Even better, we're going to get rid of this completely. We're going to call it $0 again, and we'll leave it at that. Moving on to the Wi-Fi, I'm assuming that this is internet. Well, it doesn't say whether it's mobile internet or what sort of internet it is, ADSL, cable, fiber, what have you. We'll probably leave it as it is. Maybe we'll trim a couple of dollars off because you can get some savings by shopping around for different providers. So we're going to trim that down just by $5. This is a week. That's still $100 a month. Quite a lot. Life insurance is something that I used to have. I don't have it any longer. I don't see the point of funding some company on the off chance that you're going to die. Yes, we're all going to die, no doubt about that. But the better option would be to actually invest the $12, put it into something that's tangible that you can actually use down the track. Even saving that for a year, you're going to have roughly around $600. Multiply that over many years, you have thousands of dollars, potentially earning an extra income to cover that in the first place. So we're going to drop that down to $0 as well. And again, with the partner's car and insurance, we're in the same boat as the original car. Sell the car. You don't need to be paying $100 a week. That is ridiculous. Essentially, it's ridiculous. Just buy a $3,000 to $5,000 car that gets you from A to B, save a lot of money, and for that, we're going to go for the $10 option on the third-party insurance. And now if we do a sum of all the money that they've got listed there, let's go equals sum, and it's E6 to E15. $1,235 on our streamlined budget. So what's the difference between that? If I'm not mistaken, $599. So $600 that we've managed to save. Let's trim another dollar off somewhere. We're going to call the food $349 now. And lo and behold, we've now got $600 a week left over, so they're no longer $20 up a week. $600 a week. What are we going to do with that $600? Naturally, we're going to invest it. $600 a week times 52. How much is that? Quite a lot. 600 times 52, $31,200 per year that they've managed to save. So we've gone from $1,000 a year, just over $1,000, to $31,000 just by making some adjustments, getting a cheaper house, slightly cheaper, nothing too major, shopping around for a better power deal, dropping the food budget substantially, maybe growing some vegetables and fruit at home, cutting down the car costs completely by selling the cars, getting cheaper options and only having third-party insurance, keeping the gas the same, ditching and paying off the loan, getting rid of the gym membership, not required, shopping around for better Wi-Fi, ditching the life insurance, and doing the same thing with the partner's car and insurance, buying a cheaper car to save money. So after a year of doing this new budget, things are probably fine. They've managed to adapt, they've managed to adjust, they've saved $30,000 already after 1 year. Their financial situation is now on the right track. That $30,000, there's an emergency fund right there. In the second year, they can start saving for a deposit for a house. Might take a few years, but they will get there, no doubt about it. And another thing I forgot to consider was the second job, or getting a second job. Even if it's only paying $100 a week, there's an additional $5,200 a year, potentially closing in on $40,000 a year. If they can save this money up for 2 or 3 years, potentially they've got a deposit for a house right there, their rent drops down, they get a life, finally. No doubt about it, it certainly requires some sacrifice, and that's something that we've applied in terms of our personal situation. We went through every single financial line, every transaction, rent, whatever it was, rates, mortgage, insurance, you name it, food, and trimmed the lot down to as lean as possible to save as much as possible so we could get out of debt, and then eventually we could start investing for building wealth in our future. And that's about all we've got to show you in this video. So with some smart planning, some forward thinking, a bit of analysis, plenty of time to look at the options, you can get out of the mire and into some sort of wealth in the future. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, and we'll catch you later.